and Co. This is Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And today, this is now the 8th video of the Warhammer 40k spoilers. And we're moving on to the next deck, which is the Necron Dynasties. Now, I've spoken of this before. The Necrons are basically artifact creature zombies, and they're all about bringing stuff back from the graveyard, casting stuff from the graveyard, are all about artifact creatures. So this is going to be interesting. So starting off, we're going to be with Lychguard, and this is Lich spelled Lychguard. So it's a Y, but not what you think. She-Hulk joke. Lychguard is 1 black, 2 colorless for a 2/3 Necron with Guardian Protocols. 1 black and 3 colorless, sacrifice Lychguard, return all legendary creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Hoo-ha! Now, imagine this in something like, I don't know, maybe an Ur-Dragon deck or your Joda the Unifier deck. Or any deck that has a lot of legendaries in it. Somebody just board wiped you, put this out. Crunchy! So he's an artifact creature Necron. And a lot of the Necrons are going to be artifact creatures. So, hoo-ha, that's a fun card. That's a banger way to start off this set. Next up is another one of these Japanese printed cards. So I'm going to have to switch to the translation page. So give me a second here. Okay. This is Psychomancer. 1 black and 1 for, I would assume it'd be an artifact creature Necron with flying. It says whenever Psychomancer or another non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard or exiled from the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that's almost like a little bit of the vampire action that you get, or something like with Alice of Core or stuff like that. So that's fun. Discourage their last one brings back stuff from the graveyard. This discourages your opponents from putting stuff in the graveyard or exiling. And that's important because a lot of people get around stuff like that. Oh, I'm just going to exile it. Well, that doesn't work here either. So hoo-ha. Okay, back to the main list. Next up is Tarzan the Infinite. 2 black and 4 for a 4/6 legendary artifact creature Necron with Death Touch. Has Prismatic Gallery. As long as Tarzan the Infinite is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all artifact cards in your graveyard. Boy, this is already getting interesting. So if you got artifact cards with activated abilities in your graveyard, this guy has all of them. Oh no. And aside from that, he's a decent, for 6 mana, he's a 4/6 Death Touch, which he's a threat in and of himself, but he's got activated abilities of other cards, of other artifact cards in your graveyard. he could just be a beast. Next up is Out of the Tombs. 1 black, 2 colors for an enchantment that reads, at the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 Eon counters on Out of the Tombs. Then mill cards equal to the number of Eon counters on it. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, instead return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If you can't, you lose the game. So basically, it's a self-mill that gets some graveyard recursion out of it and prevents you from that last little bit where you got no cards in your graveyard. So, okay, next up we have a card that looks to be in Italian. So, off to the translation page. This is Shard of the Nightbringer. It's a beefy 3 black, 5 colors for an 8/8 with flying. When Shard of the Nightbringer enters the battlefield, target opponent loses half their life rounded up, and you gain the life equal to life lost this way. Oh my! Its creature type is called Satan, but I don't know what that is. I think that it is creatures that are allied with the Necron. You know, they're alien creatures that are allied with the Necron, but that is just you get this boy out. Now, mind you, we talked about earlier in the last spoilers about a full reprint, well, kind of a full reprint because this is a commander set, but a reprint of Dark Ritual, which is at this point fairly difficult to get because the last time that it was seen was in the Mystical Archive from Strixhaven. But that'd take, having that, that's a good reason to have your Dark Rituals in your deck. You can cast this quicker. And, hey, howdy. Put this guy out. Yeah. And also, if you're playing with some sort of blank mechanic, that can get nasty real quick. Circle of teleportation or some other type of blank mechanic. This guy can get out of hand. And you get to target which opponent loses half their life. It's not, when you attack or what that. So you can use a blink mechanic and bounce them in and out and target multiple opponents. This dude can certainly go a long way to winning games. So back to the main. Okay, next up we have Biotransference. 2 black and 2 for an enchantment that reads, creatures you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for creatures, spells you control, and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Now, we talked about some cards that cares about artifact creatures that are in your graveyard. And again, I've spoken about this. So that's nasty. It also says whenever you cast an artifact spell, you lose 1 life and create a 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature token. Creature token generation. Make all your creatures artifact creatures, including creatures that are in your hand, and in your graveyard, and in exile. Next up is Illuminator Cesras. 1 black, 2 colorless for a 3/3 legendary artifact creature Necron. Has Secrets of the Soul. Sacrifice another creature. Add an amount of black mana equal to sacrifice creature's mana value. Wow. That. We just talked about a big, beefy creature, and here's a guy that you can sacrifice another creature to add their mana value and turn it into black mana. Holy Smurfkey. Okay, next up is Cryptic. 1 black, 3 colors for a 3/3 artifact creature Necron Wizard that has 1 black and 1. Tap. Choose another target artifact creature you control. When that creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under your control. Oh, so yeah, it's got a recursion mechanic. It's like having what is that? There's all sorts of them that popped up. There was one in Streets of New Capenna. Stuff that brings your creatures back from a graveyard, so you know it's gonna die. So that's fun. Next up is Anrakir the Traveler. 1 black, 4 colorless for a 4/4 legendary artifact creature Necron. As Lord of the Pyrian Legions. Whenever Anrakir the Traveler attacks, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand or graveyard by paying life equals to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. That's interesting. And next up is a super powerful sorcery that, wow. This is beefy though. This is 4 black and X. Create X tapped 2/2 black Necron Warrior artifact creature tokens. You gain life equal to the number of artifacts you control. Exile their number is Legion. You may cast their number is Legion from your graveyard. So if this thing gets exiled, sent to your graveyard, something, milled away or something like that, sent to your graveyard, you can cast it from your graveyard too. I get to thinking about Thanos. I am inevitable. So you create a bunch of little token creatures, and because, like I said, Necrons are like artifact zombie type things. You're gonna have a lot of black artifacts out if you're playing just this deck, and if you have anything else that you're playing with, in terms of artifacts, you're gaining a crap ton of life, and gaining life is kind of important because we got some of these abilities cost life to play, like like the one we just talked about in Anrak here. So let's take one last check. We're at almost 15 minutes. And that seems to be all for right now. So we'll see you on the 9th video of this series. And that will, I know that things are being slow to being uploaded. My internet is crappy. And I delayed a little bit because I was waiting for my computer to come in, which has not come in, but I've gotten in contact with with FedEx, and I talked with a driver that dropped off another package today, and he is going to have his manager get in contact with me regarding the driver that delivered my computer to find out what happened and where it's at. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and you guys have a great day. See you on the next video.